Hello? Testing. Does it work okay, JP? Oh, thank you. I'm so glad. I was like halfway through the stream when you came and told me that. Thank you. Okay. How are you doing? Yes, how are you? Hi there. Hello, everyone. I am Juliana Kawich. I am here again. I'm going to start from the beginning. I'm sorry. I was like halfway through my first stream when JP told me that he couldn't hear me at all. So I apologize for that. And hopefully now we are going to be able to finish it, okay? We're going to talk about the speaking practice of EIKEN Grade 2. I know some of you are having the test today or already had it. And for those, I know we had a practice, like a speaking practice here. And today I'm here for the ones that are taking the test on the 9th next Sunday. So I would like, if it's the first time you are taking this test, you have a sample card here. This card that you can see on the screen is taken from EIKEN Downloads. You are walking around. That's good, JP. Enjoying the weather. It's a little warmer, right? So, back to the card. You have a topic card. You have a reading passage you are going to read, and they're going to ask you one question about that passage. After that, you are supposed to come up with a little story based on the pictures that you will see. So that will be question number 2. And then finally, you have 2 more questions, okay? After you tell your story, you are going to be asked to put your card down, right? Turn it over and put it down. And they will ask you 2 more questions. And these questions, they are not related to the card, okay? So you are going to have to come up with your own answers. It's more about your opinion. And, well, let's get started, okay? This is the sample card made by me, okay? Created by me, you have the story, which we're going to read together, and then we're going to answer a question about that. You have the reading passage, and then the story that you guys are going to come up with. So, the passage, protecting our beaches. Many people enjoy traveling to beaches. They swim, play in the sand, and relax. However, some leave trash behind, which can harm animals and nature. To keep beaches clean, visitors should take their trash with them. Some travelers and locals also pick up litter to help. By doing this, they can protect the environment and keep beaches beautiful. So in this passage right here, let's just go over maybe 1 or 2 words that might be new. I would like to highlight the word litter, okay? Litter, which means to throw garbage on the streets, on the roads, on the beaches, anywhere, okay? It can also refer to the word garbage itself. So when we say that people litter, this means that people throw garbage. And environment, we are talking about the space around us. So it can be outdoors. Here we're talking about the beach, so the space around us. It can be indoors. So we must keep the environment, the space around us, clean, okay? Now that we have read, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you with understand it better. Just a second. Let's go to our first question, okay? Our first question related to the passages. According to the passage, what is one problem caused by travelers? Take a look. Let's see if you find this problem. You can either repeat exactly what is in the passage or maybe change one or two words to adapt it, okay? But it's your choice. Well, again, according to the passage, what is one problem caused by travelers? Some people leave trash behind. If you say that, that's fine. Okay, you answered. But you could also say some people leave trash behind and it can harm animals and nature. Okay, so it's up to you. You have to address the task, whether you provide more information or not. Okay, that's okay. Now we're going to go to question number 2, which is actually storytelling. So for this, you guys will have 20 seconds to prepare. And then after that, you guys are going to tell the story. And to tell your story, take a look carefully on this in the speech bubbles, because you should include the information there, okay, in your storytelling. And remember that you should start your story with the bold sentence. This is going to be really in black, okay? And you should start your story reading this bold sentence and then telling, okay, the story, continuing the story based on the pictures. Notice that here I highlighted, right, the word went, okay? I underlined it. Because as you tell your story, you should tell it in the past, usually in the past, okay? So remember to use the past form of the verbs like go, went, buy, bought, all right? So let's get started. You will have 20 seconds to prepare. I'll give you about 20 seconds, and then we'll start telling our story. Let's get started. So remember over here, one day the Smith family went to a remote island hoping for a fun and exciting holiday. At the airport, they were excited about the trip. Mrs. Smith said that they were going to have so much fun. When they arrived at the island, the children played in the sand. Mrs. Smith enjoyed the sun, and Mr. Smith went surfing. 3 days later, they left, but the beach was full of garbage. So some people helped collect the trash. So here, guys, notice how I use the past tense, okay, to tell the story, and how I included the information, okay? In the first picture right here, we can see them at the airport. So I said at the airport, okay? They were excited about the trip. Mrs. Smith said that they were going to have so much fun. It's right here, okay? When they got to the island, I included this right here, okay? I just changed got, and I used arrived. When they arrived at the island, and then I described the situation. The children played in the sand. Mrs. Smith enjoyed the sun. And Mr. Smith went surfing. We can see Mr. Smith holding a surfboard, okay? So you have to try to give more information about the picture. Describe the situation. It is very important to show strong vocabulary. And then the same thing in the next picture, we have 3 days later. So I included that 3 days later, okay? They left the beach, right? And then we could see visibly garbage around. So we would say that it was full of garbage. Provide as much information as you can from each picture. And let's talk a little bit more of how we introduce their speech, right? How we quote them. When we quote someone, we usually use it in the past. We use the verb say. So say becomes said. And we could use the word, the expression said that, and then what was said by the person. And notice how some pronouns, you, he, she, it, we, they change. In this case, we will often become they, and I will become he or she, depending. Remember that he we use for male speakers, while she for female. So you look at your picture and you see if it's one person, he or she. If it's more than one, they, okay? And also an extra tip, if you have will, you will often change it into would and can into could. That's why I said here at the airport, they were excited about the trip. Mrs. Smith said that. Notice how we became they. They were going to have so much fun. So if possible, change this. And one more tip. We use said that if it's a statement. If it's either an affirmative or a negative sentence. If it's a question, you could use asked. Like Mrs. Smith asked. And then you can repeat the question in the bubble. It's a direct quote, okay? So it's okay. Said that for statements, affirmative or negative sentences. And asked for questions. Asked plus the question. Don't use that, okay? Well, guys, if you have any questions, let me know, okay? I'll be more than happy to clarify anything that you need. Let's move on. Now we have question number 3, and they would ask you to turn over your card and put it down. You're going to place it on your desk. Question number 3. Some people leave trash on beaches and in parks. For instance, what do you think people can do to stop this? Then you have a couple of seconds to think and answer. These are some ideas that you can use. Okay, teach children to keep the outdoors clean, the environment clean, find people that litter, use social media campaigns like Line, Instagram, Facebook, and limit the number of visitors. Especially in parks, I think limiting the number of visitors would work. So just if you guys are not very sure about the word fine is like this. If you do something illegal, for example, if you throw garbage on the floor and a police officer sees you, an authority sees you, they will give you a ticket. This means that you have to pay for that. That will be a fine. That's why fine people that litter. So with those 4 options in mind, let's take a look at one possible answer. The government should use social media to show people why it is important to keep the beaches and parks clean. That's one way. If you answer that, just that is good. If you can add more information, you could. We could use also. Here, I use the linking word. Another idea is to limit the number of visitors to reduce trash. So every time you are going to introduce a second idea, try to use a linking word. Also, second, another idea is to. Okay? If you are very nervous, keep your answer simple. It's okay to provide them one sentence as long as you address the task, as long as you provide them with what they asked, okay? We have a more, okay, elaborate answer. And I just replaced some things to begin with. Instead of saying first, I started with to begin with. I think schools should focus on teaching children to keep the environment clean. When I add my second idea, also, authorities should fine people who litter. So remember, guys, that I mentioned that litter is to throw garbage on the floor, okay? Anywhere, like we have there, look. And then if a police officer or if you are in a park and a park ranger sees you, they can come up to you and give you a ticket. They will fine you and you will have to pay some money for that, okay? So again, to begin with, I think schools should focus on teaching children to keep the environment clean. I also think authorities should fine people who litter. So maybe some words there, some new words to help you. Let's move on. Our next question, and the last one, question number 4. Some people say that finding a lifelong hobby is important for having a meaningful life. What do you think about that? Remember that meaningful, it's like happy and a complete life, right? Something that brings you joy. So what do you think, guys? A lifelong hobby, a hobby that you will have for the rest of your life. Do you think it's important? I have also provided some ideas here. Hobbies are important to help us relax and feel happy. But hobbies change as we get older. So those are 2 ideas that you could include, okay, within your answer. Let's think a little bit. What do you guys think? Well, let's go. Okay, our easy answer. I don't think it is important to find a lifelong hobby because hobbies can change as we get older. Very simple. If you just answer that, that's perfect. But if you want to go a little bit beyond, but I don't think it is important to have hobbies. But I do think it is important to have hobbies to relax and feel happy. Yes, JP, that's true. I think it's very important, right? So that's why I don't think it's important. That's my exact opinion, okay? I don't think it's important to have a lifelong hobby because I myself have had so many hobbies through my life and they definitely change as we grow older. For example, nowadays I really love gardening. But maybe 10 years ago, I would say, oh, come on, gardening is for old people. Well, I've reached that. What about you, JP? Do you have any hobbies? I know that one of them is playing video game, right? Because I often watch you playing video games in your channel. So if you guys are into video games, JP Super Monkey, he's always streaming on Saturdays and Sundays, and it's really fun. Well, let's move on a little bit, okay? We have the same question. You love games, right? Do you have a favorite one? You know, many years ago, when I was still in my 20s, I used to love playing Call of Duty. It was one of my favorite games. Although, wow, that really would relax me. It was really fun. And look at me now, gardening, right? Well, guys, let's continue. If we want to deliver medium level, right? AB through B1, A2 through B1 beginners, right? Beginners B1. We could say that I think having a hobby is important for living a meaningful life because hobbies bring us joy and help us relax. However, I don't think it has to be a lifelong hobby because our interests change as we grow older. Yes, I think so. Sometimes, JP, I really think I should play again because it's really, makes us relax, right? So maybe one of these days I'll try. So guys, this is my medium level answer, and I hope it was helpful, okay? You guys should come up with your own ideas. It's very important to practice. And what I recommend is you can try to come up with several answers. Maybe when you were practicing, answer this today. 2 or 3 days after, answer the same question. If possible, record yourself, because you will see how the way you speak, the way you come up with your answers will change. And also you are able to correct yourself. If you record yourself, you will listen to yourself and think carefully, oh, can this be improved? Did I use the correct linkers? Did I really address a task? That's why it's important to record ourselves. Writing is also good, because writing helps speaking, especially if you write down, you correct yourself, and you read it a couple of times, and then after that you can try to put it down and see if you remember what you wrote. This is a good exercise for your memory, okay? And those are my tips. I have also included some links in the description, and I'm gonna add some more. If you guys want to buy some books to prepare to practice at home, I recommend. And guys, thank you for watching. And don't forget to share if you have a friend who is preparing, who wants to prepare for the EIKEN Grade 2 test, share. And if you are new to this channel, I am very clumsy. Maybe I didn't introduce myself at the beginning because I had those problems in my previous video. So I am Juliana Kawauchi. Okay, if you're new, please subscribe. I'm trying to post videos more often. Okay, I wish you guys the best, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Thank you, JP. See you.